I mean, not to get too dark here, but that's like rock bottom. Like, I'd be very close to considering, like,
yeah. Don't say the word. Don't say the word. No. But I'm with you. Like that's as low as it can get.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Are We Recording? It's your two favorite podcasters, the two best co-hosts, the two coldest co-hosts in the game, back again for another season. E, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey, we're always going to get down into the shits. We've got a lot to talk about this week in the music world, a lot that we haven't covered in the last couple of months in an actual podcast. So I'm excited to just get to catch up with you and see, I guess get to hear what the people are talking about, get to talk about what's going on in the world.
Yeah, no, the game's been in disarray, man. It's time for us to come back here and set this shit straight. And like you already mentioned, this is season 4. This is season premiere of the Art Recording podcast. Let's just do the intros, man. You already know what it is.
Yeah, you already know. If you don't know, I'm Gage Sutton, 007, the coldest co-host in the game. And alongside me, I've got the young Rottweiler, Mr. 5'5" of pure temptation.
Yep. Pablo Frescobar.
You've got too many. I forget about them. You can check out all the other podcasts if you want to see the list of Ethan's nicknames. But well, now that the intros are out of the way, I say we get right into it with a clip that disgusted me to my core this week, and I got to thank you for showing it to me. If you haven't been on Twitter or on Instagram, an African artist named Omah Lay brought a fan onto stage, and behind a curtain was basically performing some humping, very sexual movements on this girl. Yeah, some gyrating for sure. And what the video that I saw had reactions of the girl's boyfriend standing in the crowd with his hand in his face, crying. And man, what is up with these artists, man? Ethan, do you have an answer for this?
I think it's something in the water. I think these people, like for like Gage said, like basically Omah Lay, this Nigerian artist, right? He was at his show. He called the lady up on stage, right? He called her on a stage and she did like a little striptease for him. She twerked on him. I'm trying to not get demonetized. And the whole time she's doing this, right? Because the way that we're gonna put the video on the screen, but the whole time she's doing this, her boyfriend's in the crowd. So Omah Lay called her up while her boyfriend was with her at the show. And the whole time that it's like a silhouette of her throwing ass behind him, you see the boyfriend like in the crowd, just like just huffing and puffing and like not crying, but he's definitely like holding it together, like he's about to crash out. And you just feel for him because it's like 2 levels of embarrassment. You have the embarrassment of at the show, everybody's looking at you, and then you have after the show when you open your phone and you see 50 different angles. Like, it's insane. It's absolutely
and people texting
insane.
You like, bro, are you okay? Like, we just saw you. You saw your girl on stage with Omah Lay.
No, Omah Lay needs to be like, bro, like, this is a villain origin story right here. This is a villain origin story. Like, how are you going to come to a show with your mans and then go on stage and dance on the performer? Like, what's wrong with you?
He's just asking for trouble at this point, right?
like I'm surprised he didn't crash out like and shoot that whole thing up. Like, I don't know how I don't know how those people left the arena alive. Like, if I was him, nah, this cannot see the light of day. Like, this one thing of this happened, like you get your girl took at the club, that's one thing. But on stage at a concert with everybody recording,
yeah, that's sick. It's sick. I mean, there's no recovering from that.
There's you just gotta pretend that she's not your girl. Like, oh, that wasn't my girl. Like, it ain't that bad. Like, that's what you gotta do.
Hey, well, I just think it's funny how Usher did this with Keke Palmer, a while back. We did a whole episode on this. And, it was all fun and all fun and games, right? But this happens to one of us normal concert goers. If I took my girlfriend to a concert and she goes up on stage and starts doing that,
you're crashing out.
oh yeah, I'm going up on stage, ripping the curtains down. Get over here, you son of a bitch.
No, like, bro, that is nuts. Like, I don't see how you can like just get away with something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would like that's what you pointed the real difference out. Like in the Keke Palmer and Usher situation, or just Usher. Now we're getting to the point where it's Usher and every celebrity situation where it's like it's Usher and a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? They come to the show, they know Usher probably has you seated in the celebrity row. He knows that you're probably gonna he might pick on you if you're attractive. This is like a normal concert goer. Like, I just can't like help but feel like, what is wrong with this lady? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she can't be that much older than us. She probably like in the 25, 26. Like, what the fuck is wrong with her, bro? Like, how could you do that? Like, you're gonna make him crash out. Like I don't know. Like, I really like. I was fearing for her life. Like when she got back into the crowd.
Hey, I'm glad we're both in agreement of like, from our point of view, looking at it as the guy. Oh my God, no, there's. I mean, you know, not to get too dark here, but that's like rock bottom. Like, I'd be very close to considering like.
Yeah. Don't say the word. Don't say the word. No. But I'm with you. I'm with you. Like this. That's as low as it can get. Because, like I said,
you know what?
Because now it lives on the internet for forever.
Forever. He's never gonna escape it. And you know what? Actually, we should do this out of
one thing for sure though. He's getting a lot of sympathy box though.
So okay, that's what I was gonna say. Is he's gonna get a lot of you know, unwanted attention for the situation, but he's also gonna get some really good attention from women. And you know what? As a gesture of good faith, for this guy, if you are watching our recording podcast, we would love to talk to you. Come on down. We can expose your girlfriend live.
We can unpack your trauma.
Ex-girlfriend, I will say. I'm assuming should be ex-girlfriend.
No, you can't take her back after that.
No, at all.
You can't take her back.
See you later.
Let me ask you this, right? If like a celebrity like that, Usher or Chris Brown or Omah Lay, if a celebrity like Usher, Chris Brown, Omah Lay asks your girl to come on stage and they give her like a striptease, is that okay with you? Like she's sitting in the chair and they're like grinding on her. Is that okay with you? Like, can you like stomach that?
Maybe I'm just really insecure, man. But that
shit don't fly. That's the no fly zone.
I don't know. It's no flying here. I'm gonna be like, get back down here. You're not.
No. I think I'd be okay with it. Like if I go to a show and I'm like, all right, she like, cause I'm with a bad bitch. Like, so I'm like, I know what comes with it. Like, if you call her on stage, I want her to be like, no, she got to at least fake it. You know what I'm saying? She can't be like, okay, I'll go up. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got to fake it a little bit. She got to be like, no, my boyfriend, he's right here. I can't. Like, at least she got to try that. Then I could be like, nah, go up there. Like, not go crazy, but like, I'll go up there. But if she does what Shorty did at the Omah Lay show, you're
okay.
done. Like,
you know what?
I'm leaving the arena. Like, I'm out of here.
I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think there are certain lines that you can't cross when you do that. And she definitely crossed every single one of them. And like to the point where it was uncomfortable for me as a third person, like a third party viewing it and being like,
yeah. That shit did not sit right. That shit did not sit right with me at all.
Well, I don't know. Can we blame Usher for this or was
we can find a way. I think he's definitely in this like that category, like that he definitely influenced him.
Hey,
would you go up on stage if Ruby Rose asked you to go up on stage?
No comment.
I don't. If Meg was up there like sitting in this chair, bro, I like before she finished her sentence, I'm climbing up. So I can't. Let me in. But that's what I'm saying. Like, but I think it's different because you don't see a lot of female artists do that to like men at their shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of sexist. Like, why don't we change that? Why don't women bring men on stage? And
yeah, female rappers need to start bringing men on stage because this is unacceptable. How can Usher and Omah Lay get this type of stuff off? And we can't get none of this stuff off. We want to get the freaky stuff off that the women be getting off on stage with them.
It's unfair, man. Unbelievable.
Let Meg or Ruby Rose call me up on stage.
You'd be a happy man. All right.
What?
Hey, well, speaking of Usher, we haven't recorded since the Super Bowl, and Usher obviously was headlining the halftime Super Bowl show. I think there are a lot of people who had stuff to say about it, but no one's opinion on this matters more than Mr. Ethan Hamilton's, because
Absolutely.
we've had many conversations about Usher and what he does outside of music, and the situation, the STDs. There's all kinds of stuff we've talked about on this podcast regarding Usher. But he finally got his big moment. He got to star in the halftime show at the Super Bowl. How do you feel, man? Like, what did you think of his performance compared to some of the other ones from past years?
I don't think it was the best show. But it was, I would say, definitely top five, top six. It was a really good show. I think I guess it's just the Usher fan in me wanted like maybe 20 more seconds of Confessions.
Yeah.
15 more seconds of Superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless Oh My God and Yeah. Like, Oh My God and Yeah, like, can we retire those songs? Like, I really don't ever want to hear those songs ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't miss that era of like where R&B acts were doing EDM songs and had faux hawks and mohawks. Like, I'm so like, I'm over that. But I did like the show. I thought Alicia Keys looked and sounded, except for that first note, amazing. She looked amazing.
Hey, I'm right there with you. When I saw Alicia Keys come out, I was like, yeah, this is about to be an all-timer. Yeah.
Were you upset they didn't bring out he didn't bring out Justin Bieber?
I feel like a lot of people were. I kind of was expecting it, but I'm not upset. I still think it was a good show. And honestly, I kind of get where he's coming from, because I feel like Justin Bieber could eventually get his own halftime show at the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So you don't want Justin Bieber coming and taking all of the spotlight off of the halftime show that you get to headline. So I get it.
I'm with you. I don't hate it. I actually didn't care that Justin Bieber wasn't there. Not one bit. But I did like the fact that he showed love to Ludacris and Jermaine Dupri.
Lil Jon, I thought it was dope. Yeah. Lil Jon too.
Yeah, Lil Jon was there. Are we still in agreement that for next year in New Orleans they're gonna do, or they should do, Wayne?
Hey, you know how much I love Lil Wayne. I think New Orleans, if you don't pick Lil Wayne, you're doing something wrong.
Do you think they're gonna do one of those things where it's like Lil Wayne, like joined by like Coldplay or Red Hot Chili Peppers type?
Well, I would say so, because you got to consider your Caucasian audience. And I mean, I don't know. I think Lil Wayne has enough appeal for people to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to tune into this halftime show. But yeah, you know how some people are. So we just got to, I don't know. We should just say, if you don't like it, don't watch it, honestly, and just have Lil Wayne headline it.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I like the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm happy that the Niners lost. Like, I've been ducking the Cowboys smoke for about a couple months now, and I'm gonna continue to duck it. The fact that the Niners didn't win, it brings a joy to my heart. But
hey, we were both rooting against the Niners, and I gotta say, I was pretty content with everything about the Super Bowl. I thought the halftime show was good. I'm glad the Niners lost. Chiefs winning is cool, I guess. The game was exciting. Commercials are pretty interesting too. Well, I'm sure we'll get to some of the commercials, or at least one of them in specific, because we'll be talking about this individual here on the show in a little bit. But so I wanted to ask you how you feel about like halftime shows moving forward, because we had already kind of talked about this, like who else is in line to do it.
I think Taylor Swift, we talked about it like a lot, like whenever it was first announced, so you guys can go back and check that episode. But honestly, I think Taylor Swift's gonna get one of the next two. I think whenever she's done with her world tour, I think she'll definitely be lined up to do it.
Yeah, especially with all the goodwill that she's gotten from the league this year, with her and Travis Kelce being publicly together. I think we will definitely see that in the near future. It better not be next year in New Orleans. That spot's safe for Lil Wayne. All right.
Yeah, I hope it.
As long as everyone is in agreement.
I hope it's Wayne. I hope it's
Wayne. we're setting ourselves up for disappointment.
We really
Disappointment.
are, because it's not gonna be Wayne. Like, it's not gonna be Wayne. But
Cruel world we live in, man.
yeah, but speaking about another guy that could honestly do the Super Bowl halftime show, but I think he's burned that bridge of like allowed to hold the microphone in front of a national audience. My goat, Ye. We finally got that Vulture. We finally got the new Vultures album. I didn't think we were ever getting it. I thought it was one of those things like Donda 2 or the numerous albums that he never had coming. I thought it was one of those things where it's like he'd work on it, it'd be a phase, and then he'd just forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely thought that too. We'd been hearing about this album for a while, and I was like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And little behold, we got it in our hands, in our ears. And man, I
remember I was
mixed
texting you.
reactions on it, man.
I remember I called you about it like at like 2 a.m. I'm like, bro, I think the Kanye album came out. And you're like, no way. And I was like, yeah. I remember like the first listen. I didn't give it like I like to listen to music like late at night, but like I probably shouldn't have listened to it like first listen like that because I was pretty tired. But the actual first listen that I had, I thought it was solid. I think for me, my expectations for a Kanye album have like lowered, for good or for bad. They definitely lowered. I think a large part because of him and who he is now as an artist. I'm kind of tired of the whole like fake rollout type thing with him. And I'm also kind of like tired of this whole anti-Semitism wave that he's on. Because me personally, I don't think Kanye West is an anti-Semite, but I do think he says a lot of irresponsible stuff that I'm just like to the point where it's like I'm very much over it. Like, just give me the music. You know what I'm saying? If Kanye West is not releasing music, I do not care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely a gray area because we've talked about on this podcast separating art from the artist, and I was thinking that the whole time too. I was like, okay, I've said for years I don't support Kanye and any of his beliefs, but he made good music. He made Graduation, all right. So I was like, I'll give Vultures a chance. He's still got something going, right? And he does. I think there's a lot of highlights on this album, and we'll get to those. But I think it's good that we like start the conversation about this album here. Because it's hard to separate the art. In my opinion, I think it's hard to separate the art from the artist, and Kanye from this album. And he has so many like lyrics referencing the anti-Semitism stuff. And like, I don't know. Like, I obviously don't support it. And it kind of ruins the songs for me sometimes too. I just listen to it and I'm like, there was really no need for that,
I'm with you. And don't get me wrong, right? All you Kanye fanboys are going to run in here and just watch this part, right? I'm a Kanye fan. Kanye's my favorite artist, but I'm kind of over this separating the art from the artist. Like, he uses a lot of imagery in Vultures. Like, look at the image for Vultures. You know what I mean? If you don't see that's Germany, Hitler inspired, I don't know what to tell you, right? He can do whatever he wants. It's his music. He can do whatever he wants, right? And he, even in the lyrics, like you said, certain songs he's referencing his comments about Hitler and going DEFCON 3 on the Jews. And I'm kind of over it. Like, me being over Kanye West as a rapper is where I'm at right now. Like, if Kanye West never raps again, I'm so okay. Because even from like a technical perspective, he's just a terrible rapper now. Like, this isn't the same Kanye that like out-rapped Jay-Z on Watch the Throne. Like,
this is a completely at all. You're 100% right.
He's lost like the last Kanye West verse where I was like, okay, that's a great verse. Was probably like Off the Grid was great, was a great verse. But before Off the Grid, it was No More Parties in LA.
Yeah, I mean, you could go back pretty far to find like a Ye verse that was like really like, whoa, he's rapping. Because as I was listening to the album, I was like, okay, I'm gonna write down like some of my initial reactions. And the first one I had was, what the actual fuck is Kanye West rapping about sometimes? Specifically, I love the Papa John's bar. Like, ironically, love the Papa John's thing where he's like, are you gonna have someone in your house eating Papa John's?
Yeah, like
Kanye. Come on, man.
I think he's at a point like lyrically where he's just searching for a moment. Like, he can't string two bars together that sound good. So he's just searching for a punchline. He's searching for a specific line that's gonna make people be like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I feel like on certain songs, like I feel like he just needs to be a curator. Like just be a curator, be an executive producer. An example of that, Back to Me with Ty
I'm so
and
glad you mentioned it.
Freddie Gibbs. I saw a tweet that said Back to Me is such like a great level Kanye song with a bunch of potential that he has no need to rap in the middle of the song. That he takes a
At all.
gigantic shit in the middle of the song for about a minute and a half. That really ruins the song. Like it really does. Because Freddie Gibbs had an amazing verse. Ty smoked the hook. The
Smoked it.
production was amazing. And Kylie just ruined it.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing though. Beautiful butt naked big titty women don't just fall out the sky, you know. Did I say
Oh
that
my
wrong? I think
God.
beautiful big titty butt naked women don't just fall out the sky, you know.
Either way, I'm
Hey,
over it. Either way, I'm
I,
over it. Like I'm over it. Like
I still find it very funny. I don't know why. I think Kanye is being a goof, but Freddie definitely saves that song, and I think he has the best feature on the album.
he does. He definitely does. He
Besides
does.
maybe Playboy Cardi.
Playboy Cardi's verse is good. It's not better than Freddie's.
Yes.
It's not better than Freddie's.
No, it's not. It's not. But I think like if I had to put them in like ranks, those are like the top two on the album.
I'm
like,
not mad
sure.
at
Best
that. I say Chris has a discussion because he smoked that. He smoked that on Problematic.
I don't think we've talked about this. What did you think about the Rich the Kid verse?
It was good. It was
Right?
good. I think he held his
I think
own.
he was getting a lot of hate for it though.
I think people
like
are
people
just
were
like
like
Rich the Kid with Kanye and Cardi. Like why? Like they didn't like they were just on some hater shit. But shout out Rich the Kid. That was
yeah.
That was definitely a good solid verse.
He killed that shit, man. And another thing I actually wrote down about this album that I want to talk about is you mentioned the production on Back to Me, and there's some other tracks. We just mentioned Carnival. I love the instrumental on Burn too.
It was great.
Yeah, but this is the other thought I had was the production throughout was very confusing. I wrote, I'm so conflicted as to whether this is Kanye's best or worst produced album because
it's definitely not his best. This is definitely not his best.
Well, I mean, he has moments where I'm like, damn, like this is like some of like this is some top tier Kanye producing, right? But then he's got some songs that they're just straight up bad. Like I didn't download them. I probably won't listen to them again. Hood Rat
Didn't like
so bad. I did not like that one or Paid. I also thought the Quavo verse on Paperwork was kind of a miss for me. Yeah.
Honestly, I like I said, I got my my 6 or 7 tracks. I think the second half is definitely a lot better than the first half. Because there's less Kanye rapping for sure.
Yeah.
But I think this is the most like current sounding a Kanye album has ever sounded. And what I mean by that is like in the flow of like music that's going to come out this year and music that's came out in the past years, if this name didn't have Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign next to it, I think you could be like, oh yeah, this sounds like music that came out in 2023. This sounds like music that came out in 2024. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds very contemporary. It sounds very current. And
that makes sense.
I think that's a big plus for the album. I think that's going to help the album age as well. I think with Donda, which I love, it doesn't sound like a current album. You know what I mean? It's always Kanye on some time capsule stuff. Even with EA and Jesus is King, it didn't sound like anything was out. And that could be a good or bad. I think this case is it's a good thing. And if he continues with this whole Vultures theme for Volume 2 and Volume 3, I don't think it's going to happen. But if it does, I'm wondering to see how the sound is going to evolve through that.
Yeah, I was caught off guard by there being multiple Vultures projects too. So that's going to be interesting to see when Vultures 2 and Vultures 3 come out and how those are going to be received. But I don't know. Overall, I think it's an okay album. I don't think this is Kanye's best work by any means. We're kind of past that point, but there were some good songs. I like Ty Dolla $ign a lot too. I think he was definitely the star of the show here. And if you have any like difference of opinion on that or doubts on that, please go back and listen to the album and tell me how many times you cringe listening to Kanye rap. It's bad.
I think Ty, like, you know me, I'm the resident Ty fan in our friend group. I love Ty. I think he's criminally underrated. And I think this just adds to Ty's legacy. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
it just makes you like wonder why Ty Dolla $ign isn't still being used that much in current music. Like a lot of artists could use Ty Dolla $ign feature on their album.
They really could, man. I think he's someone that I think we take for granted sometimes because there's so many good R&B artists, but I don't know. There's just something special about him and the way he delivers some of these lyrics and just the vibe that he can bring to a track or the whole project. So yeah, I would say Kanye was probably my biggest issue for Vultures. But overall, Kanye rapping. Yeah, we should clarify that. But yeah, I think I enjoyed it overall, though, man. Anything else you want to really say about this album? I know Kanye's your guy. Are you looking forward to the?
Yeah, if we get Vultures 2 and Vultures 3, I'll be happy with it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of wondering where is River by the Young Thug song. That song is an amazing song. I put you onto that shit. Like we heard it during the leaks. I'm wondering where the Backstreet Boys song. Hopefully we get that on the hopefully we get that on one of the next projects. But I'm my highlights on the album. It's got to be. I did like the intro. I did like the intro a lot. Stars. Keys to My Life. I did like the India Love part at the end. I like Paid. Talking.
You like Paid?
Yeah, I did like Paid. Remind me of Del Resto Echoes on the Ty Dolla $ign, not Ty Dolla $ign, the Travis Scott album.
The Travis Scott album, yeah.
Hood Rat, I really didn't like that much. Back to Me, I loved without Kanye. Like just take Kanye off it. It might be the best song on the album. Do It, I really like this the flip of Back That Ass. That ass up. Oh, with YG. Oh my gosh, it was great. Paperwork, didn't like that much. I'm with you. I wasn't a big fan of Quavo's verse. Burn was really good. Buck Something is really, really good.
Yep.
Vultures definitely grew on me. It's still mid, but I don't think it was as bad as I thought when it first came out. Carnival is great. I think Beg for Forgiveness is great.
Yeah,
I think that one too. I think what's it called? Good is great too. I think the whole second half I really, really liked. And I'm probably gonna be bumming this album the rest of the year.
Yeah, there are gonna be a few songs that I'll check back in on here and there. I don't know if it'll be one of my most listened to albums of the year, but I don't know. Time will only tell. Is there anything else you want to say or get off your chest about Kanye before we can move on to our next segment?
No. I pretty much got everything off my chest. Yeah. And if you guys want to hear more album reactions from us, make sure to check the channel out. Subscribe, like the notification bell. We're going to be coming out with more videos every week, so check us out. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Vultures Kanye West album.
Okay, so what did you think about the rollout for the album? Because I know that's something that we didn't really get to talk about that much either. You had mentioned it as like one of the things that was kind of throwing you off of Kanye, and now we're seeing like more artists, I guess, take a different approach with their rollouts. We're seeing Schoolboy Q and Yeat, who are like they just finished their rollouts, or Schoolboy Q still doing his. The album hasn't dropped yet. And then J. Cole dropped a new snippet last night too. So like, where do you think that direction is heading for a lot of these artists? And do you think Kanye's like influenced that at all?
I mean, Kanye's always had like very like loud rollouts, and I think there's nothing wrong with having a loud rollout. My problem with Kanye rollouts are that they're always on the back of controversy. He always has to, like, he can never just do a rollout. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I appreciate guys like Schoolboy Q and Yeat, because those rollouts were really, really good. Yeat's rollout with the whole futuristic 2093 aesthetic, having the whole the whole shaving the cornfields, having the signs all over the world, like that type of stuff I like. Like that's a good rollout. That gets me interested in the album. There are snippets on IG. I like that. Same with Schoolboy Q. You know what I mean? Having all these music videos shot through, having it sort of like shot like a mini film. I like that. Just straight music, get us interested and keep it like that. I don't need you to sell it off the back of controversy.
Hey, I think that's 100% valid. Or if you're going to sell it off of something, maybe something a little less, like you said, controversial, because we just saw Ice Spice do it with a meme song, basically. You think you the shit? You're not even the fart. That's crazy. I be going hard. I'm breaking their hearts. Okay, you can't tell like that's it
yeah.
bangs. It bangs.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm with you though. No one was hurt from that. It was just a funny little joke, and now Ice Spice is making a lot of money off of it. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting to see like how these rollouts are for different artists because Kanye has always been since I could remember. I feel like every album he's released has had some kind of crazy controversy behind it, or like,
and it sells for sure. So it's not like not a success, but I think we're at the point now with Kanye where it's like I feel like he tries to be a contrarian just to be a contrarian, and he definitely sets a standard. But like it's like being a Kanye fan is like it's like a cycle wheel. Like you think he's a genius, and then you just go all around. And he is a genius, but I feel like sometimes a lot of people that dislike him, I think they should start taking his words a lot less seriously, and just stop feeding him that type of energy. Like if you guys really don't care what Kanye says and what he thinks and thinks he's an idiot, then stop giving him that energy. And Kanye craves attention, so it seems. So I feel like that would have the adverse effect.
Yeah, literally. I'm kind of like on the same boat with you on that, where it's hard to be a Kanye fan because when I tell people I listen to Kanye, I have to specify too. I'm like, guys, I don't believe any of the stuff he's saying, but he makes good music. I mean, what can I say? But yeah, I think
it's just like I'm with you. It goes back to the conversation of like separating the art between the artists, and like I have no problem with the artists having those. Like I do have a problem with those views, but I have no problem with an artist like taking the time to think what they got to say and put it in their music and leaving it for us to decide. But I just hate this whole like alt-right snowflake thing of like I'm gonna say whatever I want, and if you get mad, you're the loser, and don't get mad at me type thing. Like it's very spoiled brat type of vibes.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that is definitely the vibes that I have been getting, and it's hard. You want to separate yourself from it, but you do support what he does as an artist. So it's an interesting gray area that I'm sure if you've got a comment on it, you can leave it here in this YouTube video. But now it's time to move on to our favorite segment. Put you on.
Put you on.
That was angelic.
I know. Where we still didn't lose our touch
at all. Like were we even gone?
Not at all. Not at all.
At all.
Don't let the comments
see. Yeah, I know. So do you want to start with movies or do you want to start with music?
I say we start with music.
All right, bet. Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
You go first.
All right. I am going to recommend a song called Ruckus, and it is by Unity Texas. He's I'm trying to find like the best way to describe his music. He's like rap and like heavy metal and hard rock. So like if you like Rage Against the Machine and like old kind of like blends of that new metal hip hop kind of sound, this is definitely the stuff for you. Unity Texas, go check them out.
Yeah, I'm with you. That sounds like some people might be interested in that. I'm not a big rock person like that, but that's definitely a put you on for sure.
This definitely is like some like old wrestling video game kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
That you would hear. Yeah. Or hey, honestly, I would recommend this for you at the gym. This might be some shit that like get you crazy. Get some steroids in you.
I'm down.
No steroids?
No, not again. Not again.
Not again.
No.
The back knee sucks, right?
The back knee, the shrinkage.
Shrinkage.
Yeah. Ain't that what steroids do? Ain't steroids make your dick small?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never tried steroids, so I think I've heard that before, but is it true?
I think it does.
Huh. I'm gonna ask around.
Okay. My put you on is gonna be I'll Be Your Starline. It's from like the Chance's Starline Gallery from his upcoming album. So it's not an official single like on DSPs like Apple Music or Spotify, but on YouTube he has like a series of singles for his upcoming album that's probably going to come out this year. And Starline Gallery, it definitely gives you very soulful Chance vibes, and I really really like that song.
I really like what Chance is doing now too, man. And I'm glad that like we both agree on Chance the Rapper, because I feel like a lot of people gave up on him after the big day. And I mean, I get it. It was a really bad album, but then everyone was like, oh, he doesn't make good music. Did we just forget he made Coloring Book, Acid Rap, and then now with these like new
10
singles he's
Day
putting
too.
out?
Show some respect to 10 Day.
Hey, 10 Day too, man. I can't forget about that. The OG mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
But now like we see him returning back to that sound, and it's just really exciting because I was a big Chance fan. So hearing the big day and seeing the reception it was getting from other people hurt me, and I was like, I hate to be that guy and like be behind it too, but like that album was ass. But I didn't think at any point that Chance couldn't recover from it and could not, and like he could put out another great album.
No, I'm with you, and I'm excited because I think we're gonna get it this year. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I think we're gonna get it towards the end of the year for sure. But I'm very excited for a new Chance album. And when it drops or any more news drops about it, here at our recording, you're gonna hear our first thoughts on it for sure.
Anything you want to see on a Chance album, like a feature or maybe like a sound that you want to hear him experiment with?
I definitely want to hear him and Smino again. I think Smino had a song on the
Ooh.
big day. That was probably the only song I go back to on there. But Smino definitely.
All right. I like it. I think Smino definitely is in that same Chance the Rapper atmosphere. So I think that'd be a good song when it's not on the big day.
Exactly. And what about for me TV and movies? I'm gonna go with the True Detective season 4. I'm a huge True Detective season 1 fan, and the reason why I said season 4, even though it's the definition of mixed reviews, is because I want to know y'all's opinion. So I'm gonna give you the plot. Right, the plot is it takes place in Ennis, Alaska, right? And there's a group of scientists that go missing during the month of dark in Alaska, where there's no sunlight for like a month, and they have to figure out what happened to those scientists. That's all I'm gonna say. But I finished the season. It's only 6 episodes. Probably should have been 8, but I want y'all's opinion on the show.
Wow, I didn't know you were into like crime shows like that. Did you like watch the first 3 seasons too?
Yeah, but half of them are ass. The first season is amazing. Like it's one of the best seasons of They're all like anthologies, so they're not related to each other.
Yeah.
So you don't have to watch season 1, 2, and 3 to watch season 4. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Season 1 is amazing. Peak television. Peak television. And I want y'all's opinions on season 4 before I come in here and speak about it next episode.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So, Gage, I need you to watch it too. I need you to watch season 4 at True Detective so we can come in here and speak about it.
I'll add it to the list. Where can I watch this show?
On Max.
On HBO Max? Okay. Yeah, I'll need to get my login again. But
yeah.
All right.
What you got for TV and movies?
Man, I got a movie, and recently just came out, or not recently. It's been a while. We just haven't gotten to talk about it on the podcast. And if you've been watching the podcast, and you know me and Ethan, we are into this world of pro wrestling. And the movie The Iron Claw dropped at the end of the year. Or is it the beginning? Yeah, end of last year, beginning of this year. It is amazing. I really can't say anything more about it. If you don't know the story of the Von Erichs, it's tragic. If you do, it's still just as heartbreaking to watch it all go down. And yeah, if you're a brother, especially an older brother, and you watch this movie, be prepared to cry. That's all I can say.
As a person that's also seen that movie, The Iron Claw, it will make you cry. It is a very good movie. And it makes me want to get more wrestling movies.
Yeah, I agree.
A24.
What wrestling story or what wrestler do you think should get like a movie?
I think Eddie Guerrero is one will be really good if they decide to do it.
I'm in 100% agreement. I think that would be amazing too.
And I think he shall not be named Chris Benoit movie would be really good.
We might get demonetized now.
No, but I think if they handle the Chris Benoit one, I think it could be really good. Like, I think it'd be really, really good.
Shit, Kurt Angle too.
Perk Angle, man.
Him winning a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Yeah, that's That's impressive.
Impressive. All right, Gage. So
All
what do
right.
you got next?
All right. Well, real quick, I want to before we get to our last segment, which there's a lot to talk about with our last segment. I want to preview something, an idea that I had for this season, and present it to the audience. Allow them some, an opportunity to comment. Let us know what they think of it. It's a segment called Flashback, where basically me and Ethan weekly, when we record these podcasts, before the week starts, we'll pick an album, an old album that neither one of us have either listened to or it's been a really long time, and just go back, revisit it, listen to it throughout that week, and then come back and talk about it on this podcast about how it's impacted hip hop and just like some standout tracks, other things that stood out to us about the album. So I know Ethan and me had talked about revisiting some of the Lil Uzi versus the World albums. There are tons of old hip hop albums that I have not listened to, or it's been a really long time since I've listened to. So I think this would be a really good opportunity.
I'm with you. And we really got a list going. So if you guys want to recommend albums that we haven't talked about on this podcast before, let us know in the comments down below, or add us on Twitter or on Instagram at AWR Podcast, and we'll definitely check it out, and hopefully it makes a list.
And the more you bug us, the more likely we are to actually review it. So
absolutely,
literally, find us on Twitter, find us on TikTok, message us, just send us, spam us, even if it's your album, send it to us.
We'll listen to new people's albums.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and then maybe we can add them to the put you on too.
If it's not trash, yeah.
I'll put you trash. Exactly.
Yeah, if it's trash, it will not be on put you on. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna air you out like that.
All right. Well, I think now that we got that out of the way, we can move on to another segment that we had planned and talk about the Spotify classics, because I know you had brought it up a little while ago that Spotify has like a new like section of albums where they have like 12, I would say. I think it's like 12 albums for each category, right?
I think it's more.
I don't know. Basically, it's a handful of albums that Spotify selected as their classic rap albums of the streaming era, and then the Spotify classic R&B albums of the streaming era.
So basically, hip hop and rap album, hip hop and R&B albums from 2015 onwards.
Yeah. So there are a few that didn't make the cut for both that I would like to talk about. But first, let's talk about the ones that actually made it. And I'll go down the list real quick for the rap ones if you want to do it for the R&B ones. I don't know if you haven't pulled them up. If not,
I got them pulled up.
Okay. So for rap, the first one, we've got Damn by Kendrick Lamar. We've got 444 by Jay-Z. Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. 17 by XXXTentacion. Astroworld by Travis Scott. DS2 by Future. Dial It by Playboi Carti. Culture by Migos. Igor by Tyler, the Creator. To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle. Bandana by Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial by Roddy Ricch. And we've got Lil Uzi versus the World. Lil Uzi versus the World. Oh, no, not this second one. My bad. And Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler. And Care For Me by Saba.
Honestly, out of those names right there, I'm pretty much benefit out of a lot of them. The only ones that I would replace out of those ones, as far as hip hop, I'd definitely take out Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial by Roddy Ricch. And I would replace it with The Life of Pablo. I think you have to have a Kanye album. And I think that's still, and for me, it's a toss up between that and Donda, but Donda still has some time. Like my whole thing when it comes to a classic, I think it has to reach like 4 or 5 years before I can say an album is a classic or not. So for me, I'm not really going to say any albums north of 2021 are classics. So
that's
T-Lock came up in 2016. I think it's earned the right that I think in my case, it's my second favorite Kanye album. And I think it's been Kanye's best album since 2015.
I think that's fair. I was thinking about Kanye albums because I noticed that he was one of the big names that I didn't see on this category. And I was wondering what album would fit best. And I think you're right. I think Life of Pablo would probably be the one that you could slide in there because it was very influential. Man, but taking out Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial
I think
is
that's easily the worst hip hop album on that list. It's a good album. It's a
yeah.
really, really good album, but it's
I
easily the
mean, you're
worst.
not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong, dude. Honestly, yeah, that is tough because all these albums are really great.
And another one I would probably consider taking out is I love those three Tyler the Creator albums.
I
But
was just about to say,
if I have to take one out, my Ethan Hamilton's my least favorite out of those three Tyler the Creator albums is got to be Flower Boy, and I take that out, and I have to put a Drake album. Like I have to have a Drake album there.
Interesting. Okay, so that I might catch a lot of flack for this one, but I was thinking of that too, and I was like, Tyler's got 3 on this, and I think they're all deserving to be in this category. But if I had to get rid of one, me personally, I'd get rid of Igor because I don't really think it's a rap album.
You're nut.
No, I don't think it's really a rap album either.
So kind of for the R&B one.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But like in terms of rap albums, if you've already got Flower Boy and Call Me If You Get Lost, I think Igor is kind of like the odd man out for me personally. I don't think it's not a great album or anything.
Igor is probably the best album out of the 3. You're nuts if you think it's the worst one. You're nuts. Stand 10 toes at it. Stand 10 toes at it.
I didn't say that. I just think personally, I don't enjoy it as much.
You're so full of shit.
Personally, no, that's just me.
You're so full of shit. Yeah, well, fuck you. Because Igor is probably the best one out of the 3. Like,
man, are we gonna have people coming at me in the comments for this?
I think you are. I think you're like, you can have your preference, of course. I'm not saying that, but like, man, fuck that shit. Like, Igor is the best one probably out of 3. My favorite's Call Me If You Get Lost, but I think Igor's better than it. I think it's definitely better than Flower Boy.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, like, I think it's better than Flower Boy too, like substance wise and music wise. I don't know. There's something about Igor that makes it weird when you're putting it in comparison to Pimp a Butterfly and you're putting it in the same category as Astro World, even though like they're like on the same level of influence, I would say, and the quality of it is pretty similar.
Igor's better than most of these albums on this list.
That's actually
like it's definitely better. It's better than a lot of these albums. Like it really is. I can't believe that's the one that you're held up on. Okay, so if you take an Igor out, what are you replacing it with?
Well, okay, so I mean, Igor isn't the one I would take out before, like, Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. I would definitely take out that one.
So what's your substitution? Because I'm substituted Roddy's album for T-Lop. What are you taking? Because you're gonna keep Roddy's or you're gonna take something out?
I'm gonna take Roddy's out too. I mean, if it came down to it and they were like, you have to take one out, it's gonna be Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. I just pointed out the Tyler one just because he had 3 albums on there. But the one I'd be switching out personally, this is one that I think was huge. I actually am not sure if it came out in you said 2015 was the deadline?
Yeah.
I think this came out.
What album are you thinking of?
It's Goodbye and Good Riddance by Juice WRLD.
Ain't nobody want to put that shit as a classic. Stop it, Gage.
Bro, come on. Hold on. Juice WRLD was doing crazy streaming numbers at the time, and you forget how big
Lucid Dreams was. Lucid Dreams, like I do like that album, but we're talking about classics, the best of the best. Goodbye and Good Riddance, like, is not in this category, good buddy. It's not in this category. Like, yeah, you tripping about that.
Hey, I think it's a very influential album for its time, and I don't know. I mean, these are the like streaming, like some of the most influential streaming albums, and there really wasn't anyone in 2018.
All of Drake's albums from 2015 are better than Goodbye and Good Riddance.
Okay, now you're just riding meat.
No, I'm not. I'm being for
You're riding Drake's huge meat.
Pause, come on, man. Don't tell me you watched that video.
I didn't.
Yeah, I bet you fucking didn't.
I just heard about it. All right, man.
Yeah, I bet. For me, okay, so you're gonna take Goodbye and Good Riddance over Roddy's album. I definitely wouldn't do that, but I mean, you could just be wrong. I'll have you. I mean, you could just be wrong. I would definitely
take other ones too.
I would take Flower Boy, and I'm gonna switch it for Views. I don't know. My brother's gonna hate this because Views is not my favorite Drake album since 2015. My favorite Drake album from 2015 is it's not a classic though. More Life is my favorite Drake album from 2015.
Oh, even worse, dude.
More Life, but it's not. But I'm not putting More Life on there. I think Views is probably a better album than More Life.
Okay, all right. I mean, I guess that works.
What other albums you got in there that you think they left out?
The next one I had was Playboy Cardi's self-titled Playboy Cardi.
You have that? You think that and Die Lit is a classic?
Yeah. What, you don't think so?
No, I don't. I think Die Lit's bordering on a classic. I'm not mad at Die Lit. I don't think Whole Lot of Red is. I don't think.
Well, see, I think his self-titled is more like has more reason to be in this category than Whole Lot of Red.
I don't think so. I think his self-titled is his worst album.
I mean, okay, that's the thing is like, are we just talking about like the actual quality of the album? Because
it's both. You can't have a trash album in classics.
Well, I don't think they're trash, but they're also like they were also super. The albums that I've named so far. Okay, hold on. Yes, the albums I've named
difference.
So far,
yeah,
the albums I've named so far are not as good as a lot of the albums that are on this, but you could say that they were arguably more influential in that time period.
They could be influential, but they can also just be like all these albums were influential, but they could just also be considerably worse albums.
And who's to decide that?
Us, duh. That's why we have this. That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this podcast, I guess.
Exactly.
But, all right, you got one more album, man? Because I got one more.
For the hip hop one, not really. I think besides those two, I would put T-Lop in there, and I'd put Views. I'm gonna leave Lil Uzi Vert versus the World, and I'm gonna leave 17 by XXX and Tentacion. Those are gonna be the two that are like, what is it? What do you call it in March Madness? Like the last two in, last four out type shit. That's the last two in.
Cinderella's.
Like yeah, I'll leave those two alone, but I'm eyeing them for sure. For sure.
No J. Cole albums on this. He said no.
You're gonna make me say something I don't want to say. I do like right. The Offseason is my favorite Cole album, but Cole does not have a classic album yet for me.
You know what?
Especially not fair. The streaming era. Because when the 2014 Forces drives, a lot of people say it's his best album. I'm not gonna be mad if y'all say it is. I think Offseason is, but 2014 Forces drives came out and way earlier than this. So
yeah,
I'm not mad at you for that.
Okay, and then finally, if we have Igor on this album or Igor in this category, I'll also throw my guy Mac Miller's name into the hat with Swimming.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it.
Okay, wow. I'm surprised. All right. Surprised. You were very critical of the Juice WRLD pick, though.
For sure. Juice WRLD is a classic. We got to start. We're losing recipes.
We're losing recipes. Is crazy.
Classic.
Yeah, no Death Race for Love either?
Stop it.
No?
Stop it. No.
No. All right. Well, maybe I'm the minority, but let me know in the comments, too, because maybe we have some Juice WRLD fans out there who will back me up on this.
maybe, and they need to be arrested and locked up. And the other albums that I think are in classics, like the R&B side, I have no problem with Malibu by Anderson .Paak. I have no problem with Lemonade and Renaissance by Beyonce. Trap Soul is a classic. Mother by Cleo Soul, I don't think it's well known enough to be a classic, but I do really like that album. I think Freudian is a classic. I think Blonde's a classic. I think Ego Death by The Internet is a classic. I think Her by Her is good. It's really good. It's not a classic. Hotels by Jasmine Sullivan. Again, really good. I don't think it's a classic yet. In like 2 years, we might be having that conversation. And then you have Anti by Rihanna. Seat at the Table by Solange. Control by SZA. And Igor, if you want to count that for an R&B album. I think.
Yeah, so how do you feel about Over It being on there? Because I saw a lot.
Over is amazing. Over is amazing. Yeah? Yes, Over is a classic. Over is a classic. I think an album that's gonna be here in 3 years is SOS by SZA.
I could definitely see
it's gonna be there. I think it's gonna be there. I think Into by Saunderson should be is a classic, and it should be here definitely over
Ooh.
her.
Okay, I've got a couple that I could throw in there too.
What you got?
My first one is Free Black.
I'm not mad at Free Black. I'm not
Right?
mad at Free Black.
Right? That's a crazy album, man. And honestly, like I remember when it came out too. I feel like it was so big on the streaming platforms. They had like a whole like Apple Music version of some of the songs. Like X Calling, I think, and it was I can't remember what other ones they did on it, but yeah, it was a pretty big deal. And I think Black has grown so much as an artist. You could definitely include this album on there, I think.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. What else you got?
The next one I put was Awaken My Love by Childish Gambino.
I forgot about that. That's a classic.
Yeah. Right?
Awaken My,
right? I'm surprised it wasn't on there.
Awaken My Love is definitely a classic, and it should be on there. I would put Those Feels Again by Snow Allegra. I think that is a classic.
Yeah, Snow
But
Allegra.
Awaken My Love, Awaken My Love, I might have ahead.
Oh.
And I'm not
okay, so is Awaken My Love ahead of Free Black too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awaken My Love deserves to be on this list.
All right, my last one. I have a feeling you're not gonna like this one. I'm a little biased on this one, but I think Starboy by The Weeknd should also be on this list.
I'm not mad. I don't
You're
think
not mad at Starboy.
I don't think Starboy. I was gonna have Starboy in it. Starboy's not an R&B album to me.
Okay, so could you consider After Hours for this?
No, After Hours is not a classic. That's an album that definitely did not age well to me. I really liked it when it came out. Definitely towards The Weeknd's lower tier albums, in my opinion.
That's interesting. That's definitely interesting because like I feel like After Hours is more R&B driven than Starboy, but I don't know. I guess that's just how you feel about it because
it is. I just don't think
I still really like that album.
I think After Hours isn't good enough to be considered. I'm down. I can have that conversation about Dawn FM if you want to have it, but I think Dawn FM not enough time has passed.
That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that, but I'll take it. 2 out of 3. Free Black and Awaken My Love.
Okay. Awaken My Love for sure. Awaken My Love deserves to be on there. But honestly,
I don't have any other ones. I think
that's a pretty good list what Spotify put together for the classics list. Let us know what you guys got. Let us know what we missed out on. Let us know what you guys would have in the comments down below.
Yeah, or if you would take any of these albums out too, maybe we could talk about it on next week's podcast. Talk about some of the angry comments we're gonna get for some of these takes. I'm sure, because like I said, I'm sure we're gonna have some people come to my defense for the Juice WRLD album, and then some people who will also attack us for not including Playboi Carti or J. Cole on these lists. But I don't know. I guess that's up to our fans to decide, our lovely fans and listeners.
Exactly. But do you have anything else you want to talk about this episode?
And I think we covered a lot. Took care of business. Had a great first episode back for this new season. I think I'm good, man. Do you have anything?
Nope. Next week we're definitely going to talk about the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action because I did see it and I got some shit to fucking say about that. And NCAA. I know NCAA is we get more and more news about that game coming out this summer, so we're definitely going to talk about it next week.
Should definitely be interesting. I'm excited to see what that NCAA game looks like. We'll talk a little bit more about it next week, and I'll have to check out that Avatar show too.
Do you never watch Avatar?
No, I have not. Or not the live action one. So.
Oh, I thought you said you haven't seen the original. I was like, bro, you need to stop what you're doing and watch that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the live action. Well, I mean, I think I saw like the original live action movie.
No, I'm talking about. Oh, okay. I guess.
Is there there's a new one, right?
Yeah, TV show on Netflix.
There's a new TV show. Okay. Well, yeah, we could talk about it next week because I know we talked about the live action One Piece show too. So I'm interested to see like how it stacks up to that.
Yeah.
But all right, well, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate you tuning in. Before you go, make sure you hit that like button, hit the follow button. It helps us out a lot. It's a free way to help the channel and help us grow. And if you like this content, help us push it out on Instagram. You go follow us at our AWR podcast on Twitter and Instagram and just repost our stuff. Let us shout us out in the comments and send us comments too, or send us a DM. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about on future podcasts.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching and supporting us. We're very excited to get back into the flow of this.
Thank you. You guys are what make this so much fun. So until next time, I'm Gage Sutton 007 with the young Rottweiler Ethan Hamilton. Checking out for our recording. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Peace.